if you're into natural health, you've heard of turmeric, you've heard of curcumin, one of the more popular supplements out there, one of the most effective supplements for a wide variety of people as well for reducing inflammation. Now, you are, one of the world leaders in understanding turmeric. You did your PhD in it. So what did you learn? Like, let's talk about some of the constituents in turmeric that really have extraordinary health benefits and who would really benefit from it.
Absolutely. Once I studied turmeric, I thought everyone can benefit from it. There's very few people on the planet who don't have a need for what turmeric can give us. And it's really cool that modern science has studied it so much, because in ancient India, they used it for everything. They were using it on the skin topically as an antibacterial support if you had a cut. They were using it at night as an immune support. They were using it throughout the day for arthritis and joint pain. So it's really cool to see so much validation and study done on turmeric. And we know through the science and through the literature right now, and there's so many double-blind placebo-controlled trials on turmeric that prove its efficacy for so many of the different disease pathologies that exist. So it's a really exciting time because the science is really exploding on turmeric. But what I love about turmeric is how powerful it is as an anti-inflammatory, as an antioxidant. It's antibacterial, antiviral, anti-candida, antifungal, anti-H. pylori. It's also got so many properties when it comes to killing off the cells that don't need to be there anymore. So it supports apoptosis, which means those cells who need to go will finally go. When it comes to zombie cells, we know that it kills off the zombie cells that are there that are causing havoc. It supports protecting our DNA. So when it comes to our telomeres, it's protecting us, it's extending the telomeres. There's so much science now on the anti-aging effects of it that I love as well. And the fact that it's antioxidant, it also goes after the things causing oxidation in the body and reverses those as well. So to me, turmeric's kind of like that Swiss Army knife that solves everything. And it's also this powerful fire extinguisher because so many of us are inflamed. And so my own family history is, my whole family is diabetic. And when I learned what diabetes means in the body, I thought, okay, if we can just win at inflammation, maybe we can start to win at these chronic metabolic diseases that are plaguing my family, like heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, Alzheimer's. I mean, curcumin has a solution or a part to play because of its anti-inflammatory effects in so many different disease pathologies. And we see that right now. It stops plaques and amyloid plaques from forming in the brain. So a big neurocognitive aspect. It's also adaptogenic. So it helps protect us against stress. So that's why I love turmeric. I think it does everything for us.
Yeah, real broad spectrum benefits there. Now, you mentioned curcumin, which is the most well-studied polyphenol that's in turmeric. But obviously turmeric contains a wide variety of different compounds, but, curcumin, it's, in Western science, like we try to isolate, okay, what is this one active component? And they found great benefits to curcumin. And, and obviously they kept doing a lot of research on that, but broad spectrum, the full spectrum of turmeric adds a wide variety of additional benefits. Can you talk about some of the other compounds that are in turmeric?
Sure. So we know that out of the entire turmeric plant, only 3% of it is the curcuminoids. And out of those 3 curcuminoids, curcumin is the most effective. And so a lot of people are out there using fresh turmeric, which has its benefits. A lot are using the spice turmeric, which is what we use primarily in ancient India and currently. And when it comes to that spice turmeric, it's so important to add black pepper or a healthy fat, because black pepper is going to increase that absorption by up to 2,000%. And then when it comes to the healthy fat, we know that this is a fat-loving molecule in the body, so we want to put it with fat or any meal to increase that absorption as well. And then when it comes to those extracts, we know that through the current science that we have, they're driving the biggest result. We've studied those the most. And what I've learned going to India and meeting with the different phytobotanical manufacturers and people, when you give that proportion in the right proportion, the way that nature gives it to us, that's when we see those benefits. And there's a lot of work, there's a lot of problems in the supplement industry where people are synthetically trying to push these numbers to get a result for you. So you think it's better, but it might not be better. So it's just so important to pay attention to that. But when it comes to curcumin, black pepper, healthy fat is the key. And you're right, there are a lot of non-curcuminoid benefits to turmeric. And so I think that science is going to be coming online for the next couple decades, which is why when people buy their curcumin supplements, buy them for potency, buy them standardized to 95% or greater, but also make sure you have turmeric powder in there. Because according to the labs that I studied in, I studied at a lab called MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. My PhD advisor said turmeric with black pepper has a synergistic effect. So bring the two together, bring the turmeric with the curcumin together as well for that synergistic effect.
Yeah, for sure. And the piperine compound that in that black pepper has been shown to help basically improve the overall absorption of a lot of different compounds within various herbs, not just the curcumin. And so, a common spice in India, as you would know, would be curry.
Yes.
In which turmeric is one of the main compounds in. I believe there's pepper in there, but there's other things as well. Cumin. Is there a synergy with some of those herbs that are found in curry?
Absolutely. So whenever we cook an Indian dish, we create this base called masala. And in it, we're using first our ghee, then we put the cumin seeds, whole seeds, and we let them release their aromas and start to warm up and dance in the pan. We add a spice called hing, which is known as asafoetida, which is a very powerful herb for gut digestion and supports you if you have gas or bloating or any gut issues in there. Then we start adding all the rest of the spices. We've got turmeric, ginger, sometimes garlic as well, which has great benefits. Then we add our coriander, so our cilantro, heavy metal detoxer. Then we're adding the garam masala, which has black pepper and cinnamon and other beautiful spices. Sometimes we're adding fennel seeds. So that mixture that we're making at the base of any vegetable or lentil we cook has so many benefits. And of course, there's synergistic benefits as well to those different spices being in that dish. And so I think it's just beautiful that we can put so much into our food to create such a powerful impact. And that's why I call them super spices. Because here in the West, we look at superfoods and we're like, oh, my salmon, my spinach, my berries, and these things. But super spices are also a very powerful source of our polyphenols and our anti-inflammatory benefits and our immune boosting benefits and antioxidant benefits. So I'm trying to bring spices up in the ranking of superfoods.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the ghee that's in there as well. So you got the healthy fat for the absorption there. And also ghee is loaded with fat soluble nutrients, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, all your fat soluble nutrients that are in there. So really good stuff. And, like in India, they eat so much rice. And so you would think diabetes would be a huge issue, right? Eating all of this, what tends to be, high glycemic, high insulinogenic foods, but they also are marinating it in all of these types of herbs that help with blood sugar stability, right? And so as opposed to eating kind of just the white rice, alone, right? You're going to get much different glycemic response from it.
True. And we're eating it with a lot of beans. So kidney beans, chickpeas. So there's that synergistic effect of beans and rice to create that complete protein. But I do think that we're living too much of a sedentary lifestyle. And so that increase in protein is important, and that increase in movement and mobility is important, because otherwise these numbers of metabolic and chronic disease and inflammatory diseases is going up worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I tend to teach a lower carb, high protein diet, but I always say, if you feel good with rice or if you feel good with, any sort of grain, quinoa, whatever it is, make it a superfood rice or superfood quinoa where you're putting these kind of curry marinades and different things like that really now the rice or the quinoa or the grain that you're consuming becomes a carrier to deliver these powerful nutrients into your system.
I love that idea because you're really making it superfood rice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it becomes a great carrier. It's really able to get it into the gut effectively, there where your body can now start to use it and starts to downregulate inflammation in the gut.